Facepalm America, I'm Beowulf Rockland. FacepalmAmerica.com, as always, is where you can get more information about the show. Connect with us on social media, all that sort of good thing. Listen to past episodes, yada, 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 yada. You know the drill. Go there. Thank you. Thank you for going there. I really appreciate that you do. I don't usually talk about things that happen in other countries, except to the extent that there's a pretty direct connection to what happens in the United States. Which isn't to say that those things are not important. They are often very important, sometimes much more important than what happens in the U.S. I just have a feeling that I have taken into the ethos of this show that says that people in the United States, such as their lives and their circumscribed purviews and knowledges exist, for them it is easier to focus on things which happen primarily in the United States. And I know that is symptomatic of the fact that, we are very privileged. As a country, if not as people, we are very wealthy, we are egotistical, we are self-focused. But I also believe that we need to focus on a lot of things which are happening to us. Because I think if we can get things right here, that will be tremendously influential on the rest of the world. I think it is still true that when America sneezes, the world catches a cold, for better or for worse. And so I focus on things American. But there was something that came up in the news that I think really pertains to the sorts of things that we talk about here. And I think it's a good example for what we can do and the sorts of things that we must do if we are not to have all the life crushed out of us by the very, very wealthy. And I'm not even going to press the button for the why there shouldn't be billionaires theme music. But it kind of does overlap with that. It's certainly about Elon Musk and Tesla. But it's not happening in the United States. It should be happening in the United States, but it's not. It's happening in Sweden. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because I want to put forward an example of how we as Americans can be acting, how we as Americans can be organizing, and the sorts of things that we can put in place to make our lives better and fight against the billionaire class. So I bring this to you from CNBC. Tesla's troubles with labor unions in Scandinavia deepened as it lost legal action against Sweden's postal service over its refusal to deliver license plates to the U.S. electric vehicle giant. Now, that's a lot to unpack there. Tesla is having labor troubles. Labor troubles. And that, of course, especially from CNBC, but from almost any mainstream news source, means that workers are standing up for their rights and fighting for them. That's what labor troubles means. Just to give you one entry into the current edition of the Devil's Dictionary. So, there are labor troubles, and the Postal Service is refusing to deliver license plates for Teslas, which they do via mail, as they do in the United States, as our Postal Service does. The Postal Service's workers blocked Tesla license plate deliveries late last month in a show of solidarity with mechanics striking over the company's refusal to sign a collective bargaining agreement with employees, which is customary in Sweden. So you see what's happening? Tesla refuses to allow its employees to unionize. It refuses to enter into a collective bargaining agreement with them. So the mechanics, people who build the cars in Sweden, they're on strike. But they aren't the only people who are taking action. The Swedish postal workers are in sympathy with them, and they will not deliver license plates if they are for Teslas. Isn't that fantastic? Isn't that awesome? So in Sweden, Tesla and Elon Musk at the moment are screwed because Swedish people, Swedish workers, are sticking together to protect themselves. Because if they don't, Elon Musk and Tesla will screw them over. And good on them for doing it. Tesla took legal action. And Elon Musk has a lot of money to take legal action with. And he branded the move insane. What could be more sane than self-preservation? But a Swedish court ruled Thursday that PostNord will not be forced to deliver license plates for now. Good on the courts, good on the Swedish postal workers. Possibly more concerning for Musk, however, will be the sympathy strikes spreading throughout Scandinavia as fellow unions coalesce their support behind the region's deeply entrenched principle of collective bargaining as a linchpin of labor relations. Union members across a host of Swedish industries have joined the secondary strike action with members of trade union IF Metall, who have been embroiled in an ongoing battle with Tesla for around 6 weeks. Earlier this week, Denmark's largest trade union announced its own sympathy strike to prevent Tesla cars being delivered to Danish ports and transported into Sweden. They won't let Teslas into Denmark because they're saying to them, you will allow and recognize and negotiate and join into agreement with the Swedish Mechanics Union, or we will keep your cars out of our country. That's what happens when workers support each other. And we did that at one time in this country. About 90 years ago, in the 30s and the 40s, the height of union power in this country, there were sympathy